Hello, gentlemen. How's it going today?
Great. Going well.
Good. Well, greetings from Toronto. I really enjoyed this film. And let's start with you, Simon, because it's your brainchild. And I wanted to know kind of where it came from. Like, have you ever been down and out so bad that you almost wanted to give up?
I mean, absolutely. I mean, look, this, yeah, for sure. I mean, I think there's a lot that I relate to Andy Singer as a filmmaker and kind of just pushing and trying to get through the grind in New York and trying to open doors. And I think, part of this story comes from that, trying to climb. And I think the other part is, I've spent many years here and kind of had to shuffle through a number of different apartments, and I've met the kind of Charlotte and counter brokers who, are a mix of either they're pushing the crappy shoeboxes towards you, and they're also just full of so much pride in what they're doing, and that's kind of where Andy was born for me.
Well, especially in New York City, my God. Yeah, like I can't
Yeah.
even imagine. And I never thought about that. Well, I mean, why would I? But about going in, getting the appliances. I mean, is that really, does that really happen?
That I'm trying to think that was I probably I don't know I kind of wrote that created that
Yes,
yeah
that
yeah
happens
it
all the
happens, it
time.
happens.
Yes.
I'm sure it does. Anything happens and everything happens here, so yeah,
Good point.
I'm sure
Good
someone's
point.
thought of that.
Yeah. Michael, congratulations to you. What a fantastic performance you've given
Oh,
us.
thank
And,
you.
and you know, I'm really missing you on Mrs. Maisel, but I know we
Yeah.
all got to move on. I get it. It's
Do
all
we
good.
though? I mean, couldn't you write a few letters
Yeah,
to
yeah,
Amazon?
Trust me. If we could bring that back for a movie or something, I'm there
You're
100%.
preaching to
I'd
the
love.
choir, yeah. Not
Okay.
like we haven't talked about it amongst ourselves. Like, yeah, we would love that.
Well, give it a little time. Give it a little time. You never
I
know,
know,
right?
sure,
Never
sure.
say
I mean,
never.
if Sex and the City can have a movie, another movie, and then a TV
Hello?
series, I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah,
why
why
not
Hello.
not?
Maisel?
Possibilities are endless. But let's talk about this one because, like I said, I thought it was wonderful to see your performance in this because obviously it's very different from Joel. What connected you to Andy? Was there anything when you first read that script?
Andy's a hustler, like we were talking about, and I've been hustling for a long time. I've dealt with these real estate people, and like Simon said, they're constantly pushing these horrible apartments while telling you that, there's a list, and you better put down your down payment now, or it's going to be
Right.
gone tomorrow. But also for me, it's the lead in a movie, and I haven't done that before in my career, and I've always wanted to, and I wanted to challenge myself, and this was certainly a challenge.
Yeah, I can imagine. And I love the look of it, Simon. I know that you shot this on 35, right?
That's right,
Yeah.
35
Oh my,
millimeter.
yeah, it just had that beautiful New York feel. It really, what was your decision to do it that way? Because that's a little bit more complicated than what filmmakers are used to these days. Like you
It
can
was a
just,
lot more
Yeah,
complicated.
yeah, no, for sure. I mean, it was to get not to get too technical, but the film primarily takes place during the day and daylight, and the look of daylight on film, it can't be beat in my opinion. Without you don't really have to augment it too much. We were a small kind of indie production, so we didn't have the resources to bring in huge lights or huge crews. And one of the amazing things about film is when you shoot kind of right out the gate in nice weather, it just looks amazing, and you
yeah.
have a lot of latitude to kind of play with it later on. So, yeah,
Also, shout out to Kodak,
yeah,
right?
Kodak gave us a lot of support, so thank you.
Amazing. Yeah, and
Yeah,
it
they
just
really
looked
helped us out.
beautiful. I'm
Yeah.
glad you chose this. Again, in the end, it was worth it. I have to say, really looked great.
No, well, thank you. Yeah, my DP Mika Altskan, he's amazing. He's kind of a brilliant guy, and he was a wizard there. And when working on a very tight timelines, we had hours of a 10-year-old. We had
Yes.
sun setting different days, and
Yeah.
it was a challenge. But yeah, I think the film really helps to capture the scope and scale of New York and get some of that grit in the city. So
And it always felt like no matter what time we started, no matter how early we started in the day, the sun was always going down. It was like we were always battling the sun. Because
Right.
it all takes place over one day, and it's the hottest
Yeah.
day of the year. So what happens if it rains, or what happens if the
Yes.
sky is pink?
yeah.
So yeah,
Exactly.
and also like Simon mentioned, Casey Bella Suarez, who's incredible in this movie. We
Yeah,
were constantly dealing with her hours because she needed breaks, she needed tutoring, and so sometimes I was acting with a tree instead of her.
of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, let's go there, Mike. I want to talk to you about your little co-star there because, okay, first off, I mean, look, you played a dad on Marvelous Miss Maisel, of course, but you had little scenes with these kids. Like, I mean, they're little
Right.
kids. They were just kind of there for the props. They were there for
Yeah,
what
they were
now.
props.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Right. Let's call a spade here. But
No,
with
but they
her,
were amazing.
no,
I'll just
no, they were great.
put
They
that
were
out
great,
there.
but they weren't your major co-stars.
Right.
This
No, absolutely.
film, you are spending most of this film with this brilliant young girl. My heart went out to her. She's amazing.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about having that, going back and forth, working with this 10-year-old who, I don't want to say she upstaged you. You were very
It's
equal, but
fine. You could say it.
where I was kind of like, holy mackerel, how do these kids do this? Honestly,
I don't know. I have no idea. She's just really special. And Simon had mentioned that they saw over 100 tapes of kids, and she just popped. And I could see why, because working with her was, first of all, she was just like a joy to work with. She didn't complain. She didn't have stage parents. Her mom was totally
Very
normal.
cool. Yeah, it's a great family.
Yeah, great family.
We were lucky, really lucky.
And I always wanted to be an actor since the time I was a little kid, since as far back as I can remember. And she's 10 years old, and I just think back to when I was 10, and I was still acting. I was Rooster and Annie, and I crushed it. I did. But
I'm sure you did. We all start somewhere, my friend.
yeah, exactly. But she was on another level. Like I couldn't do what she can do at that age.
Yeah, yeah. Well, like I said, your scenes together were like I honestly thought you were father-daughter. And it was very real because you're frustrated. You don't want to be embarrassing in front of her. You don't want to show her that you're having a hard time.
Sure.
Yet we get frustrated. We yell at our kids, whatever it
Yeah.
is, no matter how much we love them. And I thought you guys just had this wonderful chemistry together. So kudos
Yeah,
on
and
that.
it was also trying to find that mixture of like he can be a jerk to her, but he's also loving.
Exactly.
Um,
Exactly. Yeah, he's
yeah,
frustrated. Yeah, he doesn't want her to see him like this,
right.
obviously, right? We have a few minutes, but I have to discuss Robert Klein. I mean,
Mm.
come on, Simon, really pinching yourself or what?
Absolutely. I mean, it was such a treat. I mean, an honor, honestly, to get him on set. I mean, he came through Michael. Michael was the connection that really
I knew somebody who knew him, and so I was able to work that connection.
Yeah. I mean, it was amazing. It was incredible. I don't know how else to put it, but I mean, he was with us for I think 2 days, and every second of it we tried to just soak in, and he was just brilliant. Guy never missed a beat. I mean, they were long days too. I think 13 or 14
yeah.
hours, and yeah, it was so special to have him, and I think he gives an incredible performance. I mean, he's
Yeah,
just
yeah,
he centers so much of it. So it's
100%. But Michael, for you, I mean, look, you spend years working with people like Kevin Pollak and Tony Shalhoub, and now you get, Klein. And like, what do you learn from these veterans, honestly?
It's just watching him at this age, still able to just kill it, and he knew all his lines. I've worked with older actors before, and that's not always the case, because that's just the nature of this business. It's reality. But he showed up, knew his lines, had a great time, and so that's something I want to be like him. I want to work till I'm 80 and beyond. And still show up and have a great time.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. Simon, why was Michael your perfect Andy? I mean, you gave him this lead, and like I said, he was amazing. You really were a perfection in this, Michael. I got to tell
Thank
you.
you.
Why, Simon? Why'd you pick him?
because I think he from what I had seen in different roles in the past beyond Joel, he's done another number of indie films as well, and I felt like Mike, you have a great range in that you are able to be both funny and at the same time, really intense. And I think that this character kind of straddles that line throughout. And we needed someone that we also, he's a messy father, and to kind of have a turn in a 1 day period of time that's a tough sell, I think, to a lot of people. And so having, Mike is inherently likable to me. Like,
Thank you.
I
appreciate
no,
that.
and I mean that. I mean, you're challenging at times in the best way, as you're kind of tough on her, and it pushes us. And I think that, when we first spoke, it was like, oh, it would be such a, I was so thrilled to have you, because also just kind of instantly knew, oh, he's gonna hit it out of the park.
Yeah,
So.
yeah, 100%. Okay, just to wrap it up, I can't leave, Michael, without talking about The Penguin. Oh my God,
Oh,
I
cool.
just started watching season 2. Holy crap. Okay, seriously, like to be on that series and to walk by Colin Farrell and the way he looks, and I mean, I wouldn't even recognize him. Is it that unrecognizable in real life too?
Yeah, yes. I just saw it last night for the first time. I went to the premiere, and I mean, it came out great. It's so good. It's actually way funnier than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
Dark, obviously, but also it's sort of a dark comedy. But yes, he was a joy to work with. He was incredible, and he wasn't method, at least not with me. So despite the fact that he's in all these prosthetics, and he's scary looking, and but between anytime they yelled cut, he'd come over and be like, yeah, hey, let's go over lines, and we just kind of shoot the shit. And he was great. He was, and the prosthetics are incredible. Mike Marino, who also did Maisel. He did season 5 of Maisel, the flash forwards where we're in all the old age. So I knew what kind of genius he was. And then seeing Colin in this getup, I mean, you don't know where Colin ends and the Penguin begins. I mean, it really is seamless.
But for you to be able to play this character, another pretty intense and again a different side of you that we're seeing, wow.
I mean, they're all different, and that's the beauty of acting, and that's why I got into this business, because I don't want to be myself, I want to play characters.
Are we in a therapy session here?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I just love performing, and I used to do sketch comedy, and so I'm used to playing all these different characters, and I don't know, I just find so much joy in that.
Yeah, well, listen, we find joy in what you give us. Thank you so much, Simon and Michael. This movie is really terrific. I'm very excited because I'm going to be talking to Casey Bella tomorrow, and
Oh, wow.
she shot here in Toronto for You're So Not Invited to My Bar Mitzvah. So
Right.
I've seen her around town and stuff, but she really shines, and it just honestly, what a fantastic film. So thank you so much for your time today, gentlemen. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, take care. Have a good
You too.
Bye.